Welcome, friends, and this is Frederick Henry. You're listening to the Frederick Henry Show, and this podcast is about the Republican Party and what they should do now that Donald Trump is no longer the president. It seems to me that when Donald Trump was the president, Republicans were antagonistic to him. Many of them were. And many of them became the antagonistic ones were antagonistic, and the others were lazy, and they said, well, let Donald Trump do it, let Donald Trump do it. Now, I want to relate to you a story that happened to me when I was in the military. I was on a committee, and that committee appointed me to be the leader of the committee. And there was one man who opposed me at every step, every turn, everything. And I couldn't get forward. I couldn't get anything done for several days in the committee because this particular person prevented me from moving forward. So I kept appealing to the group personally, privately, and publicly, every which way, to support me. And they were all folded their arms across their chests and sat and waited for the result. And the result is that after 3 or 4 days of working to no avail, I said, this is a school. I was in a school situation. I said, this is a school. Why am I killing myself for a school situation? I went to the professor. I said, listen, sir, I'm not going to be the chairman of that committee any longer because it's not valuable to me. I don't see any value to this struggle. At which time my opponent became the chairman. And the people who sat around for 3 or 4 days with their arms across their chests and not supporting me in any way worked themselves to the bones. I mean, this guy literally told them what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and worked them day and night, and made them make presentations and researches and stay up late into the evening hours, way beyond class time, because he was a tyrant and a dictator. And I went to each one of these people on the committee and I said to them, what happened? Why did you not support me? I would never have done this to you. And they said, well, we expected that you would be able to defeat him and we were just waiting for you to do it. And I said, well, how was I going to defeat him? By hand-to-hand combat? Was I supposed to pull a gun out of my bag and shoot him in the head? What are you talking about? Without your support, I would not be able to defeat this person. We didn't expect you to be defeated. We expected you to win. And now that you have been defeated, which I wasn't, I stepped aside. But now that you have been defeated, that were those words they used, we have to work twice as hard for him because we're responsible for him becoming the tyrant of the committee. Now, I see that as a Biden-Trump situation. We have this man now, president of the United States of America, legally president, installed legally, inaugurated legally with Kamala and all that stuff, writing dictatorial presidential orders every day. What is he doing? 5 or 10 or 15 a day, whatever. And he's ruling by fiat, ruling by dictatorship. Now, my premise here is that the Republican Party did the same thing to Donald Trump that the committee did to me. They crossed their hands across their chest, and they did not support him. They did not pass legislation. They did not fight hard for his agenda. They just went along for the ride, assuming that, of course, he's going to win. He's going to win. How could he ever lose? Well, he lost. And now they're stuck. Now, I got it. But they don't have to buy in to the liberal Democrat agenda because there is no agenda. The liberal Democrat agenda, if there was an agenda, is to undo by executive order, by fiat, by command, by dictatorial power and tyranny. They want to undo everything that Donald Trump ever accomplished for us. And why did Donald Trump accomplish it for us by executive order? Because during his administration, the Republicans did not help him. They stood around with their hands curled across their chest and said, let him do it. They became lazy. They became antagonistic. They were stupid. And so we do not have laws. We have executive directives or presidential directives or whatever. It doesn't matter to me. So what I'm saying is that if you're going to do anything, Republicans, then do it by legislation. Oppose what President Biden is doing by introducing legislation and then fighting for that legislation and then getting that legislation passed into law. And let him veto it and then overwhelm the veto. Do something. Do something. Don't stand around with committee hearings and investigations and Twitter tweets and comments and talk show host complaints and whining and complaining and all the rest of the Republicans are doing. It disgusts me. Get out there and do the studies. Make the legislation. Propose the legislation. Get it onto the floor of the Congress. Get them to vote yay or nay. And maybe you may be able to become leaders. Republicans are reactionary. They don't lead. It seems to me that all they do is wait around for the Democrats to act, and then they react. And that's just plain stupid. We need the Republican Party to get out there and fight. And to, that word, by the way, fight, is now, Fred Schoenfeld, he is proposing, insurrection. I'm not proposing insurrection. I'm proposing that the legislative branch of the government take their responsibilities seriously. They get out there and they propose legislation. They back that legislation. They fight for that legislation. They get that legislation passed in the House and the Senate. And then if Biden vetoes it, and Biden doesn't veto anything. Biden doesn't even know what he's doing. But his 25 and 35-year-old cabinet, and others, Kerry and all these other characters, they will make the decision to tell the president. He doesn't get their advice. They tell him what to do. He obeys. And then if he vetoes it, then get the Republicans in Congress and the Democrats on your side and overwhelm the veto and assert legislative power. Assert congressional power. This is a day of opportunity for the Congress. This is an opportunity that comes once in a lifetime for the Congress to reassert their legislative power and to legislate, not by Democrat tyranny, but by the Republicans and the Democrats fighting and fighting and fighting. Let them fight. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to argue. They're supposed to debate. They're supposed to present and represent and do everything they possibly can and come up with the best possible solution, having struggled through the process of agreement and then having come to an agreement to pass the legislation and then make it veto-proof and then get that on the law books, because the next president is going to come in and going to just take it all away, because it's only executive orders. It's so simple, it's so easy. The whole use of executive orders by presidents indicates the weakness and laziness and the unfocusedness of the Congress. The House of Representatives must provide us with leadership in legislation, and the Senate must provide us with leadership in legislation and get things done. Now, the Democrats just do it. They don't care. They just do it, whether it's legal, illegal, constitutional, they don't care. They just do it. And I have to say, in that respect, that I admire the fact that they get things done. I don't agree with just about anything. I don't agree with just about anything that the Democrats do, but I do admire that they stick together and they get things done in the face of opposition or the weakness of the Republicans. The Republicans have to get a fighting mentality and get a philosophy of proposing legislation, defending that legislation, getting that legislation negotiated, and then getting that legislation passed, and then overcoming the inevitable Biden administration 25 and 35-year-old advisors veto it, because Biden isn't going to do it. He's not going to do it. He doesn't know what he's doing. But the press secretary and all these other yuppies and guppies and all these other kind of people, unbelievable. We have to defeat them because they're ruling by dictatorship. And the only answer to this is the legislature. The Republicans in the Congress. The Republicans in the Senate. Now, I want to make a few comments here. I like Josh Hawley, and I think he did a great job. And praise be to him. I like Senator Rand Paul, who's doing a great job. I'm a little disappointed in Senator Cruz. I think he has sort of kind of like indicated that he thinks that President Trump did it. He didn't do anything. President Trump did nothing. He was completely within his rights as a president and as a leader. He was besnookered, as was the nation. This item that happened on January 6th was not insurrection. It was unfortunate that radical groups got into the forefront of it and used it for their own agenda, and thereby cast aspersions on 500,000 American citizens who gathered together to support their president. And I blast Don Bongino and Rush Limbaugh and all the others who scolded us and told us that violence, bad. We heard 2 weeks of our Laura Ingraham, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity blasting us, the Trump supporters, blasting us, the U.S. citizens, blasting us, bad, violence, bad. No, we didn't do it. We never did it. And stop scolding us. We don't want to be scolded. If you can't handle the heat in the kitchen, those guys, then stop. We're not going to watch you anymore. I shut off Don Bongino a couple of times when he was doing all that scolding. And all the rest of the guys, Laura and Hannity and Tucker, I shut them off. I shut them right off because I would not tolerate being scolded for something I knew, absolutely knew we had not done, because Trump people don't do that. And the evidence is there through hundreds of rallies, through 5 years of rallies, never any violence. So that when the violence happened, it obviously was not us, but Tucker and Laura and Hannity and Bongino and Dobbs scolded us. Shame on them. How dare you scold us? We do not deserve to be scolded. Stop that. You should be the first to defend us. But everybody fell in line with the word insurrection. This skirmish, which lasted, 2 hours or 3 hours at the Capitol building, and I dealt with it in my previous podcast. Please look at my previous podcast, Why Did the Government Attack Us? That's what I saw. I saw it through the lens of right side broadcasting at the actual time it was happening, and I explained that in my previous podcast. The government attacked us. Now, I also want to say, when all these people came to the Capitol to present their grievances, why did the representatives and the senators run away? Why did they hide from the people? Why did they lock the doors and duck behind their desks? Why did senators and congresspersons who depend upon the people to elect them, why did they not come out and talk to us? Why did they not come out and listen to our grievances? Why did they hide? Why did they run away? Why did they seek cover? Why did they and then turn around and accuse us of insurrection? We were there to present our grievances, and we have every right to do so. And you, the senators, and you, the congresspeople, ran away. You locked the doors. You set the police upon us. You used tear gas against us. You fired upon citizens and killed an innocent woman. You did it. We didn't do it. You did it. And you pepper sprayed dozens and dozens of them. And the people, the media is only saying 5 or 6 people died. They didn't die from us. They died from tear gas. They died from pepper spray. They died from the opposition of the government. And the woman who died, we didn't kill her. You killed her, Congress people. You killed her, police people. You shot the gun. We didn't shoot the gun. You did it. Don't blame us for it. We were there in our Capitol, in our Capitol building. We own the damn thing, guys. This is our Capitol. It's our country. It's not yours. We're not peasants who have to just obey in serfdom, have to obey the Lord and Masters. No, you are our elected representatives. We came there to appeal to you and to set our grievances, and you pepper sprayed us, you tear gassed us, you fired upon us, you hid from us, and you ran away from us, and then you turned around and blamed us for the whole damn thing. And you didn't do your jobs, congressmen and senators. Shame, shame, shame. Now, my friends, I know you can hear my anger, and I'm very angry because I'm not going to accept, as a citizen, as a voter, as an American, as a veteran, and I am a veteran, 30 years in the service, I'm not going to accept the insurrection label. This is not an insurrection. It wasn't an insurrection. It isn't an insurrection, and it never was an insurrection, and that label is a shame, is a stain on the American government, on the Biden administration, on the Congress, Nancy Pelosi, on Schumer. And insofar as McConnell and anybody else in the Congress agreed to the term insurrection and scolded